Good morning everybody and welcome back. Today we got our second attempt at Paro Airport in Bhutan. I'm really excited about this one. The last flight didn't go too well. We came in late and dark and we ended up crashing. So this one will be a lot better. I've already got it pre-planned out. And today we're in the 737NG 800NG new generation model, Zibo mod, 4K textured. And we're out here on the ramp at Varanasi in India. So we're going to go ahead and do our usual cockpit preparation. Just admiring the incredible livery before we do. Let's go ahead and get all our equipment started. So let's kick our battery in gear. Let's start to do our pre-flight checks and all the system checks as well. And then we can get going. APU coming on. Get one fuel pump on for it too. Standby power, emergency lights armed. Quick check of the lights, fully functional. Fully functional, including the annunciation warnings. We can hear the APU at the back, just starting up just in time for the APU fire check. Now this is a little bit earlier than I was expecting. I got up quite early today for Saturday, so I wanted to get this flight done nice and quickly. And also because I'm excited to do it. Cool, so APU generators should come online any second now. We can switch power to them. Don't have GPU at this location. As far as I'm aware, let's just check. So we can request ground. I suppose we can request it for the Zibo in the little iPad thing at the side here. So ground services. Yeah, let's connect to GPU up. As you can see there at the front, that's realistic. And you know what? We're going to connect an ASU as well. So that's an air supply unit. Great, so that will allow us to prepare in the hot 30+ degree weather with a combination of air conditioning and other things. You can hear it doing its job in the background, so kick some lights on. Very loud though, that ASU. Navigation. Haven't got any quick views on, just up here on the upper panel. Cockpit door shut so we don't have to listen to it. Okay, we'll wait till the battery charges before we can do our stall test. We are connected about sim. I'm not hopeful that let's cool the cabin down as well, but I'm not hopeful any communications from ATC, so it's most likely going to be a Honeycomb flight, which is normal and unexpected. It's something you come to expect. Let's just keep the steady strobe, the steady position lights, that's the navigation lights on the wings, and that'll tell the ground crew we're on the aircraft working and doing our setup. So we usually have about 6 minutes on the IRS. If you're familiar with the stream or even with the 737, you'll probably already know this timing is a little bit longer than usual. So down here in the FMC for the meantime, we will load our route up, and there it is. So we got it directly from SimBrief. I haven't had a chance to review it yet, and then you go back onto route and just paste it into company route lights. So today we're not really a special call sign, we're just the flight tail number, and that is it. So let's go ahead and activate that. I'll open the charts so you can see it. Download it from SimBrief. You can do so as a PDF as well. And then we go on charts, i.e. this thing, or even down here in the FMC, it should be completely loadable from output. FMS plans is where I usually stick it. There we go. So that's our flight plan. So we're just coming on here for all the data regarding fuel and things. I do recommend writing this down as well, even though it's on the flight plan, so you don't have to keep going back and forth. Okay, we're more interested in these things. So block fuel is 7,500, so 7553. So we go back here and we enter that into the fuel. 7553. This is kind of semi-realistic. I think the pilots in the cockpit would probably just do what I said and just write it down rather than flicking back and forth. Cool, let's just look at the weight and balance. We'll do the we'll figure out this in a second. We'll do that on the FMC. Here we go. So we got 132 passengers to Paro, Bhutan. That's a small amount, considering we've got room for 180. Not many people go in there. Yeah, so this is a different way, and it's a bit more interesting in doing it, I think. Back to charts. So what do we want? Cargo, which is, excuse me, baggage and cargo, which is 3.3 tons there on the weight and balance. 3,300. Activate that. Call the fuel truck. They've opened the door so they can inform us they've refueled. Here comes the fuel truck, and we're going to stick. That's interesting. In this particular livery 737 Zibo mod, there's no. I never noticed that. There's no seatbelt sign there. Sorry, smoking sign. It's just a chime only thing. Ground power. Forgot about that. Stick the seatbelts on as well. Okay, great. They're refueling. I'm hoping we can get. I wonder what we're waiting for the passengers. They should be able to come on the left side of the aircraft. So the right side is very busy at the moment. It has the food trucks. Of course, here comes the baggage. Okay, this is great. Baggage is coming. And then we should get packs on the left hand side any second. I don't know where they'll be coming from. You'd think the terminal, but not always. Okay, cool. So go back into the flight plan. We'll just let them do the cleaning before we let the packs load. Besides, they got to do all the other stuff. I'm going to go back to our flight plan. I'm going to check the departures. So we check our route. So we're VEBN. That's Varanasi International Airport. 09er. I will pre-select, and I highly suggest it. Just pre-select that heading nice and early so don't forget. And I also recommend, you should really put the course in. It depends on what you're going to be flying after departure. Course will be the course you track from takeoff. Direct to BSUS. If there's no SID departures here. Departure arrival. We do need to check the runway 09 yet. And then arrival. So it will be a hand-flown approach. This is the same one we did last time where we failed. So the Subsu one. Or Subsu uniform one. Whatever you want to call it. Into runway 33. So that's coming up already. Let's choose the... Okay, cool. IRS is aligned as well. It's all going very quickly today. So that's good. 33, let's just select that. Enter IS position. A left one and paste it into the set IRS position. Copy and paste as so. There we go. It takes a second to load. Unable, required nav. Right, well, we'll ignore that. I don't think it's essential. We need to check the route low, direct on the departures. 09, and make sure we execute. Brilliant. So that's all coming up as expected. Not the departure though. The departure's going to be... seems like hand flown up to there, but we should probably That's very odd actually. You would expect there to be a runway there at the top. Oh well. Let's do a few more things on the MCP up here on this panel. So we need the flight level. And we need things like cost index as well. And we probably need the QNH. So here we go. Takeoff data is runway 09, QNH 1008. Set on the backup instruments too. I'd say at this point you could probably sit the flight directors on. LNAV successfully arming. VNAV won't arm just yet because we haven't programmed the cruise altitude. Okay, so we got that. QNH bleeds on. Let's check what flap setting we need. I'm assuming 5 flaps. Yeah, 5 flaps. And then landing data there, so 1019. Obviously higher pressure, higher altitude.
Ground flight deck fuel is all loaded up and you are good to go.
Alternate airport, Gaia. Apologies about this, let me go back to the front. So the cost index, I don't know why I forgot, is usually on the first page. And it'd be CI, and then it'd be somewhere around... I've seen it somewhere around here, just hope I can remember where specifically it is. Brilliant, let's get those packs on board now. There we go, they just arrived just in time.
Directed all passengers, take your seat at this time and please fasten your seatbelt. Just as a reminder, we cannot leave the gate until all carrying items are properly put away, all overhead bins are closed, and all passengers are seated.
You can see there my name, Pilot in Command, Grantham Knight. Where on earth is this cost index? Welcome aboard, welcome aboard everybody, there it is. So 26 on the cost index. Cruise altitude, I still not found it. Should be around here somewhere. I'm a little bit complacent and a little bit blind about things. Another simple way to find it is to simply go on the SimBrief website where you downloaded the flight plan. And it will tell you. In our case, 37,000 feet. Plenty of altitude, and we will remember there's high terrain on landing as well. Planned fuel 7. Right, block fuel 7.5. Trip fuel about 3,000 kg. That goes about... I don't know if that's accurate. 4 tons of reserve sounds a little bit much, to be honest. Right, we'll just wait for the initialization. Welcome in, by the way. I hope everyone's having a good week and a good Saturday. Thank you to everyone who joined last night for the Jedi Fallen Order stream. We all had a lot of fun on that. Today is an unusual day to stream for me, but Grantham CPT will stream 3 times a week, usually Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 1:30 PM GMT time, and occasionally at other times as well. So keep your eye out for that, and please do come back, comment and things, and let me know what you do and dislike about the channel and the flights that I do. Always open to suggestions and recommendations for aircraft. And of course this Friday we are checking out a new plane completely. Not new to the game, but new to me. Okay, GPU is on, I don't know, and ASU, so we could have had the packs on the whole time. That'll allow the packs to keep nice and cool, including ourselves. And let's go ahead and stick some window heat on. You see there, it's quite easy to maneuver. Stall test works. Let's close the door so you can hear it. we see the stick shake? I believe we should be able to. There we go. So it does work. It does shake the actual stick in the Zibo mod. You don't get to see that often, to be honest, because you don't really stall. I've never ever stalled this aircraft. Right, altitude 37,000 feet. Just gonna go straight up to cruise. Set our minimums as well, so that'll be 1,000 feet. Switch clock to UTC. You can see there, 4:30. Hopefully we get there before sunset. RT on the brakes. Right, VNAV soon might be just waiting for a few more things like performance. Altitude constraints. That's fine. Insufficient fuel. I'm still refueling. We requested the block fuel, so back to the avatar of the charts. 7,500 kg. What have we got? We got almost 8. We got a good amount there, almost 8,000. So we should have sufficient fuel. I wouldn't worry about that. Just double check the stamp, the transponder, and let's squawk 5030, and we'll keep it in altitude off for the time being. We are on VATSIM. Nobody available though at present. Back to the APU power. Let's go ahead and disconnect. GPU, we'll keep the ASU on for now, and then we'll switch back. Switch the packs off prior to engine start. I really love this plane. I'm glazing the game a lot lately because I've been flying the Zibo mod 737 a lot. Recently, in particular the 4K textures, which is the aircraft we're in now, and it just looks a heck of a lot better. You know, I can't really stream above 60 FPS because it causes issues, but just rest assured it looks brilliant on the game. It's not just highly detailed, you can interact with everything. Everything's fully functional. And it's realistic handling. I think it's as realistic as it's going to get. Obviously there are payware which are just as good, if not better.
Grounded cockpit, tow is driving up.
Right, we're going to go ahead and kick those packs off now and disconnect the ground air supply unit. I'm going to pre-plan the pushback.
Some doors are still opened or the GPU or the ASU are still connected. I'm waiting for all of them closed and disconnected, then I will proceed.
That's fine, we've only got 10% passengers left to board the 737. It's a one-way flight, and that's not a hint that we're going to crash again, by the way. So we'll get there in one piece today. And now it's a short flight, it's only 1 hour 30, 1 hour flight, so we should be there relatively shortly. In terms of course, let's just set that going for the runway. Let's check our charts. I'll do it down here, it's making it a bit more realistic. So Avitab, VEBN, maybe not. VEBN. How odd that it can't find the airport. Never had that issue before.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed. Ready to connect.
Well, we can't look at the chart for the airport. We might as well use that explain. That's good. The packs are loaded. Pushback is pretty effective, actually. It's just immediate. Okay, cool.
Alright, we've got everyone strapped in. Give us a ring if you need anything.
Thank you very much. Again, very helpful there in the cabin. Okay, we've got 5% trim, which is what we're at, just about. And 142 there on the V2 speeds. I'm going to go ahead and arm the autothrottle nice and early, and we didn't set minimum, so we do need to set about 1420 there, so it's usually 1,000 feet before above ground level when taking off, and that's the point most pilots would turn the autopilot on.
Door has been closed. Once again, we gained all passengers to remain seated at this time. Please double check the security of your
Ground to cockpit. Please show me where you want to go. Connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
flight attendants. Please prepare your doors.
Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
Let's do the hydraulic pressure to the flight controls. Let's get the pitos on. Let's get our beacon lights on as we start the number 1 engine. Again, the switch in this rather than the lever, it's just a minor variation. It's very similar to the Max actually. We would later go on to use this in the 737-800 Max. The NG, most model NGs use the levers, as you know, of course. You've probably seen them many times. When the cabin's ready for takeoff, this light up here will illuminate. You can customize this panel to add various things onto it. Of course, a successful start on that one. We're going to wait for the second engine. There we go, I just wanted to make sure we were clear of the parking space before we started. It's pre-planned our taxi since we can't see the chart, so it looks like it's just that simple taxi there, straight down where we are. Not straight ahead, of course, there's a little Cirrus jet, but straight to our right, and then straight down. We'll backtrack runway 09 and go for the departure.
Operation complete. Go ahead and set the parking brake.
Fuel needs to be introduced, forgot about that. Engine's coming up pretty quickly. You see there about 40% already. Wait for that switch to click off ground, and then we stick it to continuous ignition and allow the N1 and N2 percentages to stabilise. All fuel pumps are on, we haven't got fuel in the centre. Turn the APU generator off in a second. Isolation valve to auto. PEX on, APU bleed air off. APU off.
Tow is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal on the left. We'll see you next time and have fun up there.
Thank you very much, we will. We are going to have fun, she knows what's coming. Unflown approach into Paro, Bhutan. There is a reason why pilots say a prayer before they land there, and it's certainly one of the hardest approaches I've ever done. Minus Narsa Suik, that was a real challenge. Anyway, she's going to give us the thumbs up, which means we're clear to go. We can get our taxi lights on. There they are, so we give them the thumbs up. It was a woman's voice, but it's a man character, so... yeah, VNAV won't engage just yet, that's fine. Let's get going. 5 degrees of flaps. Flight control successful. Yoke check, elevators and rudder. Okay, let's do a quick check before we backtrack. Let's get our altitude thing on the transponder so the TCAS system comes on. Let's get our runway turn off lights. We won't put landing lights on until we get there, but we will stick strobes on. As you can see there, before takeoff procedure checklist just come up automatically. You can download that from X checklist for the X checklist. Varanasi traffic, Zulu Sierra November Delta Bravo is backtracking runway 09 for departure. Listen to that rumble of the aircraft as it rolls along the pavement, along that concrete, the runway. It's just magnificent, isn't it? We're a heavy aircraft today. We're not fully loaded, but we are heavy. Cabin's ready, cabin lights, so we'll press that to acknowledge it. You can hear them in the background, possibly they are making announcements there to myself, letting me know that it's all ready. The Honeycomb, Yoke and Throttle as well just elevates the Zibo mod, so the experience is so much better. You can't really fly without it. You definitely need a Yoke and Throttle. The Honeycomb series is just absolutely perfect for it. Of course you can get the Boeing Yoke, but it's... personally I'm not too keen on that one. Right, so pre-takeoff, so we do landing lights. We're going to turn the taxi lights off. We've got strobes on, beacons, continuous ignition. We've got a flap set to 5. Seatbelt signs are on. Cabin is indeed ready. Transponder set to altitude. We're now going to be flying straight out departure there. Let's get our weather radars on. Both sides. So somewhere there it is, BSUS. We're going to fly directly to BSUS. Let's connect that line. Varanasi traffic, Zulu Sierra November Delta Bravo is departing runway 09 straight out departure. Let's get going. Toga. Getting a little alert coming up for takeoff config. Possibly a glitch. 80 knots.
80 knots.
V1. Rotate.
Positive rate.
There's a rate climb. Gear is coming up.
400.
400 feet. VNAV coming on. 1000 feet, so now we can engage the autopilot. Although let's just hand fly this departure, it's a lot of fun. Flaps to 1. Nice and foggy, isn't it? Turn out lights off, but I'll keep the landing lights on till 10,000. Autopilot. Should take us up to 230 knots. You can stick the ignition back to continue or automatic. Pre-select the anti-ice to give us plenty of time there to counteract the freezing weathers or freezing temps. It's still 30 degrees outside. We're going to neutralise the gear early. Standard pressure set, including on the backup instruments as well. And of course flaps up. Auto brake off. ETA everybody's 1 hour as said before. Not a long flight, but that is the top of the climb and the top of descent, etc. We can see the entire flight within 180 nautical miles. 640 actually, it's it is quite I don't know if that's cloud or something else, but it's misty down there. It's difficult to see ground cover. I'm hoping obviously Bhutan is a bit clearer than this. We are expecting VFR though, as far as I'm aware. If we go down here to the flight plan, it will show the arrival. Expected weather, that is. Go down here to the runway. Excuse me, the landing. Somewhere here. There it is. So, as I said, 1019 for QNH. Everything else is looking good there. There's not really much wind. What's this? V1 speed was 100. V2 was 142. Yeah, it's pretty close, I guess, in terms of numbers. I don't know about the real thing because I can't compare it to the real thing right now, but I imagine it's extremely close. Anyway, we're accelerating 296. We're going to go ahead and turn our landing lights off and the seatbelt signs. Got a feeling the air conditioning was going to cut out because the pressure's built up. As you can see, it's quite high there, so we've put the packs onto high to get some of that bleed air into the wings to act as an anti-ice as well. A simple way obviously to counteract that would be to turn it to high, and that will hopefully reduce the pressure. If it does cut out, just click trip reset and see what the issues is. Morning or good afternoon now, find us. Yeah, just slightly early. I was up early and I realised this is a short flight, so people can watch it on replay anyway. There's been quite a few viewers this morning, but we've not had any chatters, unfortunately. I'll open the chat up to everyone, like you said before. Although last night when we were on Jedi, it was open and there was no, like, you were there, which is nice, but nobody else was really chatting. Okay, you can find Paro International there. Interesting, he couldn't find Varanasi on the departure, but he could find the destination. That's all that matters though, we just need the altitude of the airport. So it is about 7,000 feet. 7,300, as you can see the aircraft's pretty much already pre-programmed into this entire flight. It was the last flight I did actually on the 737. 7,360. Odd actually though, because this time it's not got the charts, whereas last time it did, so a bit back and forth on that Avitab. Okay, there's Varanasi, the busiest place in India, I believe it is. Absolutely crazy there. Still very nice. Up north we have all the mountainous terrain, of course. Sort of where we're heading actually. You just see actually the region, this part of the world, the topography is insane. Of course, we're actually still tracking the same heading. It was a literal straight out departure and we're just going in a straight line. It should be a relatively easy flight. Sunset in Paro, Bhutan super early, it's 5 to 6 and current time down there is 5 to 5, so we've got about an hour until the sun sets, so that's perfect. We may get there in sunset. Like I say, if it goes dark I'll just simply flight control warning, I simply turn the light back on. Again, that high pressure up here, we have turned the packs onto high to get it into the bleed air into the wings. There's not really much else you can do to remedy it. It's still 4 degrees outside as well at 26,000 feet. VABF centres online. That's a part of India, but it's on the western side. It's the upper area control for Mumbai. It's a shame, really. We need someone on Varanasi today. Someone on the east side of India to give us the ATC. One of the small details I love about the Zibo as well, you might not be able to hear it, but in the background I can hear the co-pilot switching things, and he's turning knobs. It's just making those little sound effects in the background that make it extra special to take out to fly in. Anyway, I am going to be doing, I'll give you advance notice because it's a good way to get people interested, isn't it? But I'll be doing a video on cockpit preparation in the Zibo mod, so at some point this coming week, there should be a video about the 737 startup procedures, probably in the Zibo that we're in now, and I'll just talk through what's needed. If you are interested in that, that will be basically the tutorial you need to get started.
To go.
Still climbing, this is insane. I thought we were there already. Anyway, we're climbing 37,000, it says 1,000 feet to go. Well, let's hopefully level off with no issues. Hack pressure should have dropped by now. You would think the higher up we are, the lower the pressure, but in our case, our systems, I suspect the pressure is increased because it was really hot down on the ground. It was about 30 plus degrees. So of course that will increase the pressure inside the system. There it is. The silence, because the aircon's gone off, and the pilot announcement at the same time. I was expecting that to trip out any time then, and it did. So we clicked trip reset before we suffocate to death, and that's actually helped the system to drop a bit of pressure. Maybe dropping and cutting it out like that was a good thing. People won't actually suffocate in that short amount of time because there's still air in the cockpit and cabin and things. If it was to fail completely, we would have to deploy oxygen, which is up here somewhere. As you see, packs oxygen, and we'd have to turn that on, along with putting our mask on at the side here, which I don't tend to check actually on the pre-flights, but you can check it. As you can see there, we make the Darth Vader noise. And my advice is just keep an eye on it. Keep the bleed air onto high for the packs, and just reset as needed. Monday as well I'll be planning. I've put it on the schedule now on the post page of the channel. Another 747 flight, and we're going down to San Francisco in the UPS cargo plane, so that'll be good. Nice variation there. I would like to fly the 747-800 as well, but I haven't had a chance to do so. I think it's just the payware at the moment. There's no freeware 747-800. Cruise procedures, waypoint reached. Well, we keep adjusting the heading book, so there's not much to do. We're just cruising at the moment over India. On the way to Paro, Bhutan, the stabilised pressure in the air duct system is good. What we need. It's kind of gone back up a little bit. As long as it's below 50, it should be fine. Recirculation fans, turn that off. That won't really do much. It doesn't stop the bleed air coming in. .1019 is the pressure. We're going to pre-select it, and we're also going to set the minimums nice and early. We're going to do a little bit of a checklist now, so we'll go and do it from the Zibo mods checklist. Let's make it that kind of flight where it's in depth. Modified route for arrival and RMP for arrival. We've done that. We set our approach runway 33, I believe it is. So you might as well select a course. Let's just double check the approach. Actually, we want to make sure we got the right one in. Yeah, runway 33, the subsea one arrival. .330 is almost north. And we're going to do the same nice and early, maybe not on the heading actually. We'll leave the heading until we get to final or something like that. So 330. That's the climbing cruise procedures. Descent. These are very basic checklists. Of course, I've got the X checklist here, which I keep going on about because it's so brilliant. You'll also notice there's a different order there. Landing altitude we've verified. We've just done the system enunciation recall just one more time there. There's a flight control warning, but there's no warning up here to indicate there's anything wrong. VREF. Let's go ahead and check the VREF. I don't know how to get rid of the white arrow, but initialization reference. And then 138, so plus that's actually quite a light speed, so that tells me we're quite light by landing. So what we're going to do is add 5 onto that, so that gives us 143. Do it the other way around as well. That's proper, so we do 40 degrees of flaps / 143 knots, and that gives our reference speed here. As you can see down there, it's popped up on the mains display. Unit, this is the sort of 6-pack compressed in one, isn't it? Alternate destination, we don't have anything. We have a near airports list just in case. Top of descent is not imminent, but we're getting there. Oh, it is imminent. We've got how far? We've got 35, 40. Yeah, not very far at all until the top of descent. Probably less than 100 miles, obviously. So we need to prepare nice and early. So we've done the VREF minimums. We're going to do now, because it's over 7,000 feet, are we going to be able to actually set the correct minimums? That's the question. Yes. Well, it's gone back to barometric, so we want... Try radio, but I think the max is 999, yeah, so in which case we'll have to use barometric. And we're going to have to set it 200 feet, so 7,600 feet. It's just a good ground reference to have as well, even though you're not going to be... You might not be using it. And that gives us at least 50 or 60 feet spare to avoid the ground. I haven't checked the minimums at Paro Airport, but I'm sure they're the same as most places. Navigation radio, we've not set it yet because we are unable to get the charts, so we don't know what the local frequencies are. I think they'll probably be tuned in already. We've already got a few things tuned in down here, so hopefully it's still the same. Auto brake, I'm doing it super early. We're only going to use one. I'm going to do the checklist from this one as well. So descent weather, we know it's going to be clear. Max free flight level steps. Let's pre-plan our descent actually, because remember the high terrain. So 7,000 for the airport. There's got to be a better approach than that. So if we do hand flown approach, it's straight down to 17,000 feet. I think it was that one we chose last time. Let's do that and then reference our thing. So P888. So we do need that as the transition. Now if we go back to routes. Yes, it's given us the approach now, so we'll probably go down to 17,000 feet. And then for absolute final, about 9,000. A long final though, and then the go around is back up to 16. Okay, probably starts descending now. Descent weather. Local QNH, we set it 1019. ISA deviation. Go to performance. Oh, that's cool. We can select the runway condition. So it should be dry. I mean, it is pretty warm country. So we're going to put dry on, and we're going to select. I don't know the temp. I'm not too sure. Let's go back onto the chart again. It's very handy to have this. I'm going to select the airport, and it should give us the temperature outside. Yeah, so 1019. 3 knots of wind. Visibility is good. Okay, so he's giving the announcement 15 minutes arrival. That sounds pretty accurate actually. Maybe not for the landing, but for the actual. Perhaps not 17,000 just yet. We'll go down 22,000 for now. Make sure we're above the mountains. Anyway, ISA deviation is set. It doesn't point to it on there, which is a bit more realistic. So I put 22 degrees. It's hot, which is what it's telling me. Where are we now? We're still in. Should be popping up there somewhere sometime soon. We're taking that left hand turn up. Fixed destination landing runway. We've established it as runway 33. Distance ring 10. Check. Top of descent ring. The decision altitude according to the chart. So again, we've not got the chart available, which is it's usually working. It's just today it's not popped up on ChartFox. Navigation frequencies, courses. We've selected the course. Navigation frequencies. I'm not sure there's an ILS at this runway. Well, I know for a fact there isn't. It's not in the FMC, so we'll have to skip that. We are meant to descend actually to 16,000 feet. A little bit late. Good though that we did it nice and early. That's kind of worked out ideal. Landing performance, we've just done that, so 143 for the VREF. Auto brakes, I've never calculated the auto brakes. I've just done them as I feel, you know, as I feel fit. So today's a 1 Yoke checklist. Supposed to call this out, so this will be pressurization, landing altitude set, anti-ice is set, approach briefing and fuel. So we've done that. We've got plenty to go around fuel. Okay, we turn the anti-ice off now because we're above 10 degrees. Otherwise we're going to overheat and possibly set fire to the aircraft. This is a good chance to, if you've had the pressure up here on high, as you can see it's dropped, so we can stick it back to automatic. The packs and things are on about 20 degrees. Let's put that on to like maximum cool for people because it's going to be well too hot otherwise. So pressurization, approach briefing, IS and altitude bugs we've set. Cabin lighting. Landing. Pax announcement, he's done that. Mank angle 25 degrees, check. Something going wrong with that checklist, it keeps popping up incorrectly. I'll keep that aside, we've got to keep it as a reference. This is a familiar place now, we're definitely getting close to the airport. Maybe not. Still within a decent amount of time though. And plus we can go faster at low altitude. (20 degrees Celsius at 19,000 feet. At this temperature we probably don't even need the pitot heats on. I mean it's pretty clear. We haven't needed the anti-ice for ages. Usually it would have probes on. That's strange, it didn't illuminate. Wonder if they've malfunctioned and broke. No fail systems. Usually we'd expect it to be lit up though. Turn them off and see if we get a warning. Okay, transition altitude, so I'm going to set the local QNH 1019.
1,000 to go.
As that northerly turn, northeasterly turn there up to Paro as we enter the mountainous region. You can even see there Kathmandu in Nepal is popping up as the territory. Just to the left of us is Nepal, and of course south there is India. Bagdogra, that was the one we passed last time, very familiar. Saipur there. I've not want to land at that one, that looks super tricky, doesn't it? Okay, so see, we're going to go up this way, and then I always have this issue actually on on the flight sim. I never can find the airport and then to land that on the map. Brilliant views though. And there it is. It's kind of just coming into sunset. As I said, we have about 20 minutes till sunset, so it'd be nice and nice colours when we get there. Let's get some lights on. Give it a nice warm feeling for the pilots. They've done a very good job. $269, so we do need to slow down there. It's strange because the deceleration point's on for a while, although I suppose the approach is tricky, so we've got to be super on the ball. ETA now is roughly, you know, absolute most 10 minutes until touchdown, everybody. So please sit back, relax, enjoy it. Thanks for joining Grantham today. It's been a pleasure as usual to get back in the 737. Wow, look at that view, everybody. That is impressive. Very impressive. Wonder if that's Mount Everest in the distance. Okay, it's going to be going into the dark. I'm not really sure how to change the time without going on the configuration page. Just going to make it slightly earlier. Give me a second, everybody. I just need to change the time thing. Just need to give myself a shortcut here so we can... Ah, there we go. Time a lot earlier. A little... It says K for earlier. There we go. I think that's working. Not doing much. Time a little earlier, K. So I'm pressing K, got shift whatever it's called, num lock on. Still bright though, it's still fairly light. Of course, we shouldn't land in the dark again. That was I've never seen that before on a YouTube channel. Yeah, no response there on the K button. Doesn't seem to be functional. Find if you agree. Okay, cool, cool. We don't need to keep setting ahead. I'm just going to set it to 3-3 now for the runway. $269. Landing speed is down there, 143 for the VUF. Hope the stream's looking clear. Well, I know it is, so I hope you're all enjoying it. There it is, there's that blue line. That'll be the go round, or the holding pattern, I suspect. Yeah, so we go round. Again, we got that curve there, and then we come in. If we need to go around, we'll go there, and we'll continue down the blue line and back again. So very, very tricky approach this. We get to a certain waypoint down there. I believe last time we had to connect. We had a gap in the FMC down here, which there it is, which didn't take us all the way down to the runway. So we're just got to keep our eye out for that one in case it gets to the point where we need to take over. Time a little earlier. There's our call sign as well, Zulu Sierra NDB, going on the New Zealand call sign today. Sky Matrix Virtual Airline. There's our deceleration. Let's put flaps to 1. Yeah, drag is required. Arm our speed brakes. This is it, everybody. This is it. Do or die. Flaps to 5. Back to the X-Jet list for the reference. All the landing lights are within 10,000 feet. Logo light on in darkness. Brilliant. Ignition continuous, so it says... I don't really feel comfortable doing that till we're on final, to be honest. Okay, fasten seatbelts. On. Stand by altimeter approach mode. We haven't really got an ILS flow, so we'll have to... Yoke checklist. Can't just about see it. Start. Well, let's do start switch is continuous. We'll lower down. We're low enough down, I think. Recall, we've done that. Speed brakes, we've armed them. Landing gear, we don't need them down. Auto brake set. Flaps are 5. Still, we'll check that there, and we can check up there as well for symmetrical deployment. We've got green lights. It's all good. Landing lights are on, of course. Contact ATC, so we're going to go ahead and do that now. We're going to just pretend they're online. We have got VIDF center though, so there might be an ATC in the area. Let me just check VATSIM. No, but we're imminently approaching the airport. We can't change the time, but but it's still pretty bright outside. It's just poor weather at the moment. Contact ATC, so... Paro Bhutan traffic, Zulu Sierra, November Delta Bravo is descending now to flight level 110 for the approach into runway 33. You can see there, it's quite the approach actually. We may need to call it 12 or 13,000. Does say 14,000 and then 13,000, so we're still alright for now. Contact ECC, PAX announcements done. Let's turn that off because it's a little bit in the way. If I go in flight configuration here and I click time of day, if it applies, I think that restarts. I don't know, let's just skip an hour back. I really hope this doesn't restart it. Okay, it doesn't, thank goodness. There we go, anyway, it's actually made it colder. How is that possible? Still real world weather. 10 degrees of flaps, we've slowed down considerably actually to 167. Very odd. This is a little bit intimidating, guys. This is Grantham's nightmare realised. It's not only foggy, but the mountains are 13,000 feet high. Everyone on board just saying a prayer right now, including myself. So please God, don't let us crash. Top of descent, and then 12,000 feet. I believe that would be the main main point of deceleration as well. Seems like we do need a lot of flaps at the same time. So as you can see, the speed's already gone very close to the reference speed. Minimums are set, so we'll get that call out. We're about 2,000 feet, etc. So we're still good for now. I'm just concerned about that terrain, because the FMC is telling us we should be at 12,000, but if we go any lower, we might hit it. Hopefully, we're going to skim round that and through that valley, it seems. So good luck, everybody. This is it. This is the final approach into Paro, Bhutan, and it's going to take us right down to the runway. Right for the mountains. Now it's a great view. I'm surprised we got this far on the last flight. $9,000. So we need to be down about minimum 10,000, maximum 10,000. Cabin ready for landing. Yeah, it was strange. It was about 20 degrees before 19,000 feet, but it's dropped. Okay, this is the final turn of the final approach. Paro traffic, Zulu Sierra November Delta Bravo is final approach. Approximately 10 to 15 nautical miles out, runway 33. Again, keeping that thrust nice and high. I think it's through this little bit here. We need to get down now to about 9,000 feet or 9,800 feet. I'm going to slow down to our reference speed there of 143 as well. So we're going to add one more notch of flaps. Help the drag and help the lift at the same time. Probably would have been better to do this at a hand flown. We can't do the entire blue line. It may have been better actually to just intercept the approach from that last waypoint and then just continue, but obviously we've continued there to the ED. Okay, we are using 30 degrees of flaps. Gear coming down. Full flaps. Hopefully we get a visual of the runway anytime soon. It's not got lights on, so it won't be... Oh, there it is. There's the airport, everybody. Right. Give the autopilot a little bit more time and then we'll disengage it. I think it's best if we go in with manual thrust as well rather than auto throttle. Okay, there we go. There's 1,000 feet. Or almost about 2,000. We're going to disengage it. Yeah, really high up approach this. So we're going to idle the engines. Going to slow down considerably. We may even feel that stick shaker today. As you can see, they're losing a sufficient amount of altitude. Thousand feet. And this has to be a glide down to the runway. There's no other way we can get down at this height. Let's go ahead and idle then, and keep it at idle this time. I need to remember that. And the runway's quite short. Let's go stick it on 2 on the auto brakes. Change my mind. That's fine, everybody. We need to do the ground proximity warning. Terrain inhibit. This is extremely difficult. How on earth did they are they flying that? There's no PABI system.
300. 200.
Whoa.
100. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Nice. Reverses. Apologies for veering off. Full reverses, we're not slowing down. We've got 2 on the auto brakes. Whoa, we're really struggling. Full brakes on as well. Parking brake. We skid then. We skid really badly. Holy smokes. Guys, that was insane. We were all over the place. We've only just made it. That is a miracle. And yeah, we have got Vegas on Monday, which is going to be exciting. So we veered off then because I wasn't using the rudder. The auto brakes, I didn't realise they were going to be that ineffective. We're probably better off going max. Oh man, I need a minute, so we're going to retract the flaps. The alarm, so we inhibited terrain warning. We can't really inhibit the pull-up warning, that's sort of built in. That was extremely difficult. I have no idea how pilots manage that. Super steep descent. It would have been a lot better to come in from the other way, and then obviously you can see it's a lot clearer there. Amazing! Look at that! Look at that! We did it. A mission accomplished. Travel Buff, if you're watching or watching on catch up, you know. I hope you enjoyed it, brother. It was very good. Power traffic, Zulu Sierra, November Delta Bravo is backtracking runway 33. Wow, we actually got a great approach rating. And a good landing. That's a surprise for X-Plane. I am gonna watch the replay because I want to see what happened on that auto brake feature. Yeah, San Francisco is the destination on Monday. UPS cargo, so it'd be great to be back in the 747 again. It's one of my favourites. Not flown it in years, and then got explained 12, and it's that Sparky 3 mod is the absolute bee's knees. Again, another freeware aircraft that's better than the default on X-Plane. New airlines here, not seen these before. China Southern. A few Chinese airlines sank into the ground. It's unfortunate. Yeah, the same on the reverses actually. The reverses didn't engage properly. In fact, the brakes are just ineffective in general at this airport. That'll do on parking. Let's go ahead and get shut down. We've got the AP on. So fuel cut off. We've got the AP gens on. Ignition back to automatic. Lights off. We've got the strobes. We'll keep the navs on for the turn off. Beacon lights. What else do you need? Packs can come off. 21 degrees, it's not that bad. Transponder back to standby. AC ground power. Let's turn the seatbelt signs off, get everyone off, and seatbelt smoking signs. I'm super surprised actually about the rating. Anyway, great flight everybody, let's watch the replay. Amazing. Pray it works. Yeah, so I'll let you watch the replay and then I'll end it, but overall a very good stream, a very good flight. I really hope we all see each other on Monday and we all keep going with the experiences.